Season 1 is finally here, and even though this isn't a huge meta patch we're expecting later this month, we still got a surprising number of balance changes, mostly to attachments. At first glance it might look small, but some of these tiny mobility tweaks actually change how certain guns feel in a pretty noticeable way. So today we're going through every change, what it actually means in real gameplay, and I'll give you my predictions on which guns are going up and which ones might be falling off. The M15 starts off with basically nothing, just a tiny range nerf on the fusion barrel. This gun was already S tier and that hasn't changed at all. It still beams, it still has insane consistency, and the nerf is so small you probably won't even notice. If you liked the M15 before, it's still one of the best rifles in the entire game. The AK-27 is where we see the most changes for ARs, but they're all mobility nerfs. Your strafe speed, sprint speed, ADS movement, all of that is slightly worse when you run the popular attachments. Damage didn't change, recoil didn't change, but the gun feels heavier now. You can still absolutely drop people with it, but it lost smooth aggressive feeling that it had during the pre-season. The AK stays good, but definitely drops a bit from where it was. The MXR17 got a couple small mobility buffs. Nothing game-changing, just a bit smoother when ADSing. It's still a niche rifle, and this won't push it to the meta territory. The Maverick X9 is interesting. A few attachments got buffed, a few got nerfed, and one unintended sprint speed bonus was removed. Overall, this ends up being a slight nerf, because losing sprint speed on an aggressive AR makes it feel less snappy. It's still a good gun, don't get me wrong, but it's not better than before. This one stays solidly mid to high tier. DS20 Mirage. The DS20 Mirage got a mix of mobility buffs and nerfs. It honestly plays almost exactly the same. Not a winner, not a loser, just stable. The Peacekeeper though actually got a meaningful buff. The Swift B stock now gives way more movement speed, and that helps a lot because the Peacekeeper always felt a tiny bit too slow. This one is one of those buffs that don't look big on paper, but in-game the gun feels more natural. I think the Peacekeeper quietly moves up a tier thanks to this. The Ryden got a mobility buff across the board. Better ADS movement, better hipfire movement, with only a tiny reduction in sprint speed. It plays more aggressively now, and that's always a good thing for SMG. This is definitely a winner. The RK9 got reshaped a bit. You lose some overall movement speed, but you get a lot more ADS movement, and the mags all got slightly bigger. This shifts the RK9 towards being a more ADS beam rather than a pure run and gun spray machine. It's overall a small buff. The gun feels more consistent in mid-range fights. The Razor gets slightly more ADS movement and loses a bit of general mobility. Nothing huge, but it's a slight step up in usability. And now the biggest loser for this update, the Dravec 45. Both major range barrels got nerfed and a ton of mobility focused stocks got hit too. The Dravec was one of the most well-rounded SMGs in the game, fast, strong, fun, but this patch takes away range and mobility. It's probably still playable, but drops out of the high tier for sure. The Carbon 57 got a mix of buffs and nerfs that mostly cancel each other out. A bit more range here, a bit less movement there. I think it's gonna stay exactly where it was. The MPC-25 actually got a really nice buff. The Quickstep foregrip now finally gives a significantly better ADS movement bonus, which makes this gun feel more responsive in an actual strafing gunfights. I think the MPC-25 might surprise people this season, definitely a winner. Now to LMGs. The MK7.8 got more damage range on multiple barrels, so this is a straight buff for long range players. Still heavy, but stronger in its role. The XM325 lost range on two of its big barrels, which definitely hurts its long range consistency, still usable but not as reliable as before. And that's every balance change for the Season 1 update. plus what it actually means for the early meta. Let me know what gun you're planning to try first and whether you agree with my predictions. I'm already working on my top 5 weapons for the Season 1, so make sure you're subbed if you don't want to miss that. Thank you for watching and enjoy the new season.